Hey everybody, welcome to Athena After Dark. I hope you guys had a great week. I want to apologize for last week. We're moving the shop, and boy, howdy, did this time get out of the way. I am live here in Clarksdale, Mississippi. We had a great weekend. I'll tell you all about it. So let's kickstart this baby and get it rolling. Okay, let's not forget that Saturday is the Sons of Speed. Actually, okay, so we have the Biker Bells morning ride. Don't forget about that, Sturgis. I'm going to be there. And then this Saturday at the Tennessee National Raceway, 10 $10 tickets they start at, and it starts at noon. We're going to have the Sons of Speed Tennessee Jam. So if you can, be there. We have a really great guest tonight, so we'll talk about that some more. And yeah, I'm live in Clarksdale, Mississippi. This is the craziest, coolest shit. So I just wanted to let everybody know we had a really, really awesome weekend. Um, we came here because we were in the movie Rough Boys, and our co-star Charlie Bretchel, the founder, the creator of the film, he passed away. A lot of people know about all that. So we actually kind of vicariously lived out the movie scene, and we brought Charlie and a lot of other folks to Clarksdale, Mississippi, in a time capsule, and it is hung in the Shack Up Inn. It is a fantastic place, and every year we're going to come back for an anniversary. And when I say anniversary, I mean literally an anniversary, because today, my friends, our friends, Sir Barry Wardlaw and Miss Vivian Gypsy, now Mrs. Vivian Gypsy Wardlaw, got married. She didn't know she was getting married. We worked it out. It was an impromptu proposal on stage. She said yes, and then we brought out the whole wedding. It was incredible. And yeah, we have some background stuff here because I am live. I'm on the street across from the Bluesberry Cafe, where Charlie Musselwhite is in there with Benny Turner and Deke from Deke's Music here in Clarksdale. They're jamming out. I see Benny Turner across the street. This is so cool. I'm just ecstatic, and I know Don's probably putting up the pictures right now of uh, Benny, and they got married in this bar at the actual Shack Up Inn. And there's little houses all around this place. It's the most eclectic place you've ever been in your life. And then, yeah, they got married, and it's called the Juke Joint Chapel. It was so fitting. And then we watched Rough Boys the movie. It was incredible. So it's been a great weekend, and everybody that's here, we got about 50 people, and we're just having a great time. So we miss you all. Again, I'm so glad that we're here. If anybody photo bombs us or does any crazy shit behind us, it's because we're live, and they're going to take every opportunity that they can. Um, I want to take a shout out to our sponsor, Techno Research. We're grateful for their support and all the fun that we get to have. So, you see the flashing lights behind me. I am sitting on the street here. So, Clarksdale, Mississippi, a little history here. This was a cotton picking town. And when they went mechanical with the cotton picking, it became a ghost town. And it is the home of the blues. It's the Delta, and we are in it. I mean, the mix is fantastic, and the town is coming back. So if you're on the road, you're traveling on your motorcycle, and you're looking for an awesome place to go and visit, come to Clarksdale, Mississippi. Stay at the Shack Up Inn. Bill and all of his staff there are fantastic. And then you have to come to the Bluesberry Cafe. The food is phenomenal. The whole scene is incredible. And Deke, whose music shop is down the road, you can go, and he plays mean harmonica, but you can also come here on Monday nights. They do a jam session. So it's worth the trip. It's worth the stay. Also, it's not far from Tupelo, Mississippi, the birthplace of Elvis, which is where everybody stopped on the way here. And then when I'm leaving, I'm going to the gates of Graceland to take a picture. So, we're all Elvis fans. I'm so excited. And I see Benny over there. I wish I could get him over here, but okay, we'll go with that. Um, Tonight we have a fantastic guest. Okay, he's a rider and a racer. He is doing the Sons of Speed this Saturday, Nick Hunter, and he is tonight's spotlight. And we're going to show some pictures of Nick, and uh, he has a race team. It's Tweakers Racing. So we're going to let him tell us all about it. Again, if you're anywhere near, or if you're traveling this weekend, definitely Tennessee National Raceway. You got to come out and see them all race. And again, shout out to Josh. I hope you're on the mend and doing well. And so does everybody that's here. Barry and Gypsy miss you, and we wish you were here. So, and a shout out to Andy. Thanks for hooking this all up. You are the bomb. I appreciate you. And everybody out there watching, I love you all to death. So if I missed anything or I skipped anything, it's just because I'm live here and watching these flashing lights behind me. It's pretty cool. It's an eclectic vibe and we're having fun. So we're going to bring Nick in. Um, Don's producing from the house. He had to stay because we were moving the shop. Oh, motorcycles. Go figure, right? It's a motorcycle show. Um, yeah, so we're moving the shop, and yeah, Dawn had to do all the heavy lifting while I'm out here being the best girl for my ride or die. I was the maid of honor. It was pretty cool. Charlie Musselwhite gave her away. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring Nick in. I'm super excited, and we'll talk about all the good stuff he's got going on. Motorcycles, baby. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Athena, how are you?
Good. How are you tonight?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the show. We're excited. That is awesome. So, how have things been with you?
Things are good. Things are good. Did Sons of Speed in March, and been anxiously awaiting Tin Jam to come to town here. The track's about, I don't know, 2 hours from my house, so it's it's really really close for me. We went last year and had a blast at the first one, and been eagerly awaiting this one to roll around.
So you race Sons of Speed, but you also do other kinds of racing, correct? With Tweakers Racing.
In the past, I have. Mike Silvio actually owns Cyclemo Speed Shop, and he's who builds my bikes. And he just got back from El Mirage. They were doing the land speed racing out there. I think it got rained out on Sunday. They didn't get to do the second day of racing, but yeah, we do a couple different kinds of racing.
That is awesome. Some drag racing in there too, huh?
Did some drag racing in the past. I don't do any more street drag racing. Everything now is a little bit safer, slower, older bikes. Not that, any form of racing is going to be a little dangerous, but trying to tone it down some.
Yeah. And now your boys, both your sons, they race with you also, correct?
My oldest son races, and my youngest son, we just bought him a bike that we're going to put together, and hopefully here before too long, we'll have him on the track also.
That's awesome. That's the way to keep it alive. That's what we're looking for. We want to keep everything we're doing alive. And the vintage bikes are awesome. You guys get out there, and it's some serious shit. Nobody really gets it until you've been there. But yeah, there's no we'll say there's no sissies in that course for sure.
The vintage bike racing touches so many different avenues that have always appealed to me. The motorcycles, obviously, racing, and then the antique bikes I got into maybe, I don't know, been maybe 10 years ago now, and doing Sons of Speed is all three wrapped in one. So
that's cool.
The picture that they just put up, that was my grandfather and two great uncles who raced flat track Harleys in the 30s. I didn't know that, when I knew them, they were already, way up in age, but my mom drug this picture out. She's like, all of your uncles and grandfather raced Harleys back in the day. I was like, get out of here. I had no idea. So
how cool. See, it's in the genes, and not the Levi's. It's in the genes. That is, I love that. That is fantastic. So besides Sons of Speed, what do you got coming up this year? Anything? I mean,
I've got so much on my plate. My daughter's getting married in November. Coming down to Florida. She's going to have a wedding in Florida in November.
Where at?
It's going to be in right outside of Panama City, Carilion Beach.
Nice.
And let's see, what else do we have? My wife's taking a trip overseas, her first time out of the country. So I'm going to be a, whatever you want to call me, a bachelor, a stay-at-home dad with, her being gone for a couple of days. And
husband too.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Nobody to wash my clothes or fix my dinner.
I love it. She's a good woman. That's awesome.
Oh, bless her heart. Yeah, she's put up with me for 30 years. So.
And that's how she gets the overseas trips. You got to take care of your man. That's all.
That's it.
sometimes they don't like it when I say that stuff, but I'm very old fashioned when it comes to that. It's important. So
God love you.
yeah, that's how it is. And I love motorcycles. And Don and I both, we're on the same page. Like, one of us goes before the motorcycle goes. I'm not getting rid of my motorcycle, you know? So we have
She
that.
got one trip in 30 years.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I love him. Yeah,
Pretty badass.
he's doing a good job tonight producing. He's been producing for me, and it's really good because we're a team. So, and he knows I miss him terribly. It's exciting. So then with the kids, um, you do cars, you sell cars.
Yep.
I
Yep.
that, and that's what you do for your job, and your passion is racing and the family and everything like that. So when it comes down to it, with the boys, is it like the nervous dad thing? I mean, how difficult is that when they're out there with you? I mean, does that just make you crazy? Because I wonder, my kids always say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And they all ride, but it seems different racing. I don't know. Is it more of a controlled thing and you feel better about it? Or is it
So a
just
lot
like,
of people ask me about that, and so part of the allure to Sons of Speed, you tell people, oh, these bikes have no brakes. And, everybody's like, oh my God, what are you talking about? No brakes in racing. My oldest son's been riding for several years now. I never worried about him on the track the way that I worried about him on the street anyway. Because,
okay,
distracted drivers or, people on their cell phone text and not paying attention, that bothers me way more than him being
okay,
on the track. Everybody's like-minded when they're on that racetrack. And, he's really, really accomplished, as far as, street riding. He took a motorcycle training course, just really a student of the game, if you will. And
I love it.
no, I don't worry about him at all, any more than you're going to worry about somebody racing a motorcycle.
Of course. Yeah. I just always wondered that because, that's a thing as a parent. And a lot of people who don't have kids, they're not really sure how to feel about all that because they don't have kids, but there's that internal thing, so, but that's so cool that you guys do it. Cause the family that plays together stays together forever. That's just how it is. I
Well,
love
and
that.
so I guess the boys were probably, I don't know, this has been maybe 10, 12 years ago. And we made plans. We were going to start, racing. I say racing, riding motocross or riding enduro, stuff like that, some dirt bikes. And, the car business takes so much of my time that it never seemed like the right time to do it. And then, now they're in their 20s and finally we've got that trailer full of motorcycles that's brought us all together. If we're not, going to the racetrack, we're talking about working on them or, how can you make them faster or, hey, what about, uh, um, building a training bike for Nathan, getting him involved. The whole family's part of this motorcycle thing now. And I mean, I couldn't be happier.
I love it. And we have a diesel in the background. Of course, everybody's familiar with that sound. Oh, Charlie Musselwhite's going. So, yeah, when I tell you we're in Clarksdale, we're in the heart of it. We're in the Delta, and we've had like the craziest musicians and just so much fun. So, I'm really glad you're here because like I feel anxious, about doing the show, and then you are honestly the first person that I've ever interviewed that I've never met. So now we're
Really?
friends. So now
We're,
I'm very
we're
comfortable.
officially
Yeah,
friends now.
we're officially friends now, so that's cool. I'm very excited. So can you elaborate a little bit um, about your racing team name? Because I know we talked about it prior to the show. Bye, Charlie. I love you. He's so good. Oh my goodness.
So Mike, as I said earlier, Mike Silvio owns Cyclemo Speed Shop and he builds the bikes, builds the engines. And he and a couple of guys came up with the Tweakers Racing name a couple of years ago. The old bikes use Linkert carburetors and they have a high speed and low speed needle as opposed to the jets. Some of them have jets, but you fine tune them with these needles. And so the Tweakers name, it comes from, tweaking these little needles. And they created this character who's got these big bug eyes and, the racing goggles. And he stands on the back of a camel. And the camel is this thing from the Middle East. It's an old saying that death rides a fast camel. So they just, they put this little crazy looking dude on top of a camel and came up with Tweakers Racing. So that's where it comes from.
I love it. And everybody watching, make sure that you watch out for Tweakers Racing because it's going to be a good time. And I'm sure of it. I have no doubt. So, how do you feel about some questions?
Shoot. Yeah, let's do it.
Ready? All right. We're going to start out with the just for fun questions.
Okay.
So, dogs or cats?
Cats are mean little assholes, and I kind of admire them for that. So, cats.
Do you own any pets?
Yes. There's your first photo bomb, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be Miss Gypsy. The newly married. The newlywed.
Oh my God.
She's the newlywed. That's Nick Hunter from Sons of Speed. He's racing Sons of Speed. He has Tweakers
Hey, Gypsy.
Racing.
Hey, Miss Gypsy.
Oh my gosh. I am so happy that Athena got you on here.
I'm so glad to be on here.
Oh my God, it's so awesome. It's so
Are you having
awesome.
a good time on your wedding day?
Oh my! Well, I'm just getting done with a reception in the Bluesberry Cafe with Benny Turner and Charlie Musselwhite and Unbelievable Blues and motorcycles and oh my God! All right, that's enough of a photo bomb for me.
Thank you, Mrs. Wardlaw.
Oh,
We love you, Mrs. Wardlaw.
Said it.
Stop it!
No, it never stops now.
Oh
We
my
love
God.
it. That's
Ball
so cool.
and chain, baby.
Ball and chain, baby. I love it. That's the best way to do it. I think we should just be on the road all the time doing them like this for sure. Okay, we're
Yeah.
going to get back to the questions. That's cool. Okay, so I like the answer. But yeah, do you have pets?
Yep. We got a cat. She's how old is she now? I think she's 16 now.
16.
Yep.
That's
solid black cat. She was a Halloween cat. She was born on Halloween.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. That's some serious stuff there. Okay, next question. Apples or oranges?
Apples for sure.
Apples. Do you just eat apples or do you like peanut butter or you like
Yeah, I can do peanut butter, but I like are they Macintosh? The ones that are like red and green at the same time? They're really, sour. It's my favorite.
you like those? Those are your favorite?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those. Okay, those are pretty good. We live in Florida, so I'm over. Oranges are overrated for me. That's definitely for sure. And they're sticky.
Yep.
We like those Honey Crisp apples.
Yes. I may be describing the ones that I like by the wrong name, but the Honeycrisp are good too.
Yeah, that's Don's an apple guy. He's definitely an apple guy for sure. Okay, so hotel or camping?
If I can get in a hotel with a nice bed and some cool AC, sign me up.
Okay, good.
Camping for me is overrated.
Camping is overrated.
I mean,
okay.
just my opinion.
Camping is no HBO, right? And
I mean, running water or I can't stand being hot. I'm sitting in the house right now with no AC, so maybe I'm a little jaded.
You had said that. And yeah, I know Don's in Florida. It was probably nice.
So you are camping.
I kind of am right now. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I kind of am.
So funny. Okay, so this question, I already know the answer, I'm sure. Slow, fast, or faster?
So I read the questions to my wife, and she's like, "Is she talking about motorcycles?" I'm like,
"It can be anything."
Well,
show.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with faster than second place.
Oh, that's the best one so far.
Faster than second place.
You win a prize for that one. That one's a good one. That's the best so far. I have to say. I like that. Okay, so sunshine or moonshine?
Up until a year ago, it would have definitely been moonshine. But I've stopped drinking, so I'm gonna have to go with sunshine now.
Okay, all right. So then, what is your absolute favorite song?
I thought about this one too, and I don't know how anybody can pick their absolute favorite song. I've got so many, but I decided what I would do is pick my favorite song by my absolute favorite group. So
okay,
it's a little bit obscure, but Arizona by Kings of Leon.
All right. Okay, that is very good. I like that. That's different. So everybody always says, I don't know how you pick that. And they give me a list. So I like that, your favorite group. And it was Arizona by
Kings of Leon. They're a little band. I say they're not a little band. They're a big band now, but they're from here in Tennessee, actually Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
Very nice. And I know Don's back there. I'm sure he's writing that down because he will definitely make sure that we get to hear that. We love new music.
Covered on that, baby.
Music is good for your soul, just like
Oh
motorcycles.
gosh, yes, for sure.
Okay, so then, what's your favorite road food?
Beef jerky, really good beef jerky.
Oh, I am here, and one of the guys here that he's from California, but that's what he does, beef jerky. So
Yeah.
at the end of this, we're gonna get your address, and I'm gonna have him send you beef jerky. If that's what your
Oh,
favorite,
you are awesome.
we're sending you some beef jerky. We're gonna get him to send it to you for the races all the time. I will talk to him about that tonight.
That is fantastic.
We're gonna make that happen. That's good. That way I can contribute to the team racing spirit. I love that. Fantastic. Okay, so I know you're not drinking anymore, but if you were a cocktail, what would you be?
I thought about this. I think I was gonna say a Bloody Mary, but I think I'd be a Long Island tea.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a nice mixture of a lot of different things.
That's it. You get a little bit of everything.
There's a surprise at the end every time.
For sure.
Yeah, you're surprised at yourself as how you behaved after you've had a few. I'm sure that's how I am with those anyway.
Yeah.
That is too funny. Okay, so now we're gonna get into some real questions.
Okay.
Not too serious, but we want everybody to get to know you. So, and I want to get to know you so that when we're out there, I know exactly who I'm dealing with, because I know racing is hard enough. Oh, there they go. It's happening.
I love it.
I'm sitting on Beaner's motorcycle. Do you know Beaner?
Is that the purple bike with the long front end?
Yeah. So he was at TMMR this weekend, and if you guys get a chance to see the video, oh, there he is.
There he is.
Nick, how we doing?
Doing great, buddy.
What's happening, Beaner?
So Beaner was at TMMR. If you guys get to see it on his Facebook page, he took that long stretch purple bike with the bags, and he hill climbed that bike.
Get out of here.
And I missed it by that much.
Oh, man.
He's got cast iron balls, this one. I swear to God. We'll have to tell you the story one day about the potato gun, but we swear Beaner's the toughest guy we've ever met in our life.
I believe it.
And I got a bunch of sayers. Okay, I'm doing an interview here, gentlemen. So Jason has introduced himself to me like 5 times. Come here, Jason. Let's see you on camera. We're just gonna have fun with this. Jason, meet Nick. Nick is racing Sons of Speed this weekend.
What's happening, Jason?
Good
to see you, man.
Alabama.
Yes, you too.
All right, and Don's in the back end of this. My husband. Say hi, honey.
What's happening, Jason? How are you?
Good. How are you? Tom, where
Rock
are
and
you?
roll. Beaner, hey, I'm in there somewhere.
Good. Almost.
Okay. We're doing now. These are serious questions, so don't let Robbie
we're
out.
in serious
Please
time.
don't let Robbie out here. Okay, so we're getting into the serious questions. How long have you been riding?
Riding myself since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
I rode with my uncles and my dad when I was, I don't know, a year old. They sat me on the tank. I'd hold the crossbar, and they said the faster that they went, the more I liked it. So my entire life. Yeah.
And here you are now, right?
Yep.
That is it. Okay, so how'd you get into motorcycles?
My dad, my uncles, everybody in the family always had bikes. And, probably had my first dirt bike of my own when I was, 7, 8 years old. And I've been riding ever since.
All right. Very good. Okay. So then how'd you get into racing bikes?
So my very first adventure in racing was motocross in middle school. And on the weekends, Dad would take us to a little track up in southern Kentucky. And then, like I say, the drag racing, and got out of racing for a little while. Continued to ride bikes, but didn't really race anything formally until I did Trog, back in 2018, and then got into Sons of Speed in 2021.
Okay. Very cool. And Beaner's gonna start his motorcycle up right behind me because that's the kind of guy he is. These guys they're all leaving. They're like, you're done. We're done. We'll see you back at the Shack Up Inn. This place is so cool. It's these little they're so good to me too. They make it quick. Yeah, this place we're staying, the Shack Up Inn. It's little shacks where the cotton pickers used to stay. It's the neatest thing.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, you got to come to Clarksdale. It's fantastic. All right, so what's when I say your absolute favorite rides? So I would like to know what your favorite motorcycle to ride is, and then what's your favorite leisure route to ride?
So I sent in a picture of the Lowrider S, and that was the first new bike that I had in probably 15, 18 years. And there they go.
There you go. Okay. So you sent in a picture of the Lowrider S.
That was the first new bike I'd had in probably 15 years after having ridden, bikes from the 30s and the 40s. That thing was absolutely amazing. The power and how smooth it was. I mean, I could ride that bike for 500 miles. It was unbelievable.
Okay. And then what's your favorite leisure route?
So where Mike's shop is in the hills of Tennessee. I mean, you can ride for literally 2 hours and not come across an interstate or a main highway. And every time we're at the shop, after we get through working on a bike, if we've got some time left in the afternoon, we'll hop on a couple of bikes and just take off in the hills, and you can go in any direction for hours. And it's just, anywhere up there. I love riding the hills of Tennessee.
Okay. I like Tennessee. I want to definitely do like Tennessee by motorcycle, take a week and do it. I think it's fantastic there. It's just incredible. So what's good riding time in Tennessee when it's not like cold? Like if you're from Florida and it's 100 degrees usually and you like the heat, what's the best time of year to come and ride up there?
I think the fall, riding in the early fall, it's not too hot. And the leaves are starting to turn on the trees, and it's just any direction you go, it's gorgeous.
Okay. I like that. You'll have to give us a guided tour when we come up there.
You bet. You bet. Absolutely.
Awesome. So then my next question is, what's your favorite race?
So if it's a race that I'm not participating in, I give all the credit in the world to the guys that ride the Isle of Man TT over in Great Britain. You've got sport bike, MotoGP type stuff and super bikes, but those are on controlled courses. And, even though those guys can get hurt if they go down, those TT guys are riding on public roads at 160 miles an hour. And that's phenomenal. Love riding, or love watching it, not riding it, but love watching it.
And then your favorite race to ride is, of course, Sons of Speed.
Listen, I've said this what feels like 100 times, and I'll say it 101 times. Going fast in a straight line, whether it be drag racing or, getting out and messing around on the interstate at whatever speed you want to go, that'll always be fun. But the very first time that I went into a turn at New Smyrna Speedway and leaned the bike over and felt a foot peg dragging, there's nothing, at least for me, there's nothing like riding a banked paved oval on an old bike. There's nothing like it.
That is so super cool. And you guys get it on for real. There's no doubt. And the camaraderie and respect. I mean, sure, it's competitive, but the family is just, it's amazing to watch. I know that. I've seen it, and I just think that's incredible. That's got to be an awesome part of racing, is being part of that family with, Roadside Marty and Billy and just so many great, Jody races and Chris Callan races and, Josh, and it has to be incredible just to be on that track and be like, wow, look at that. We're all doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. From the time that you pull in for practice, until the races are over, you don't meet a stranger. You don't really see anybody with a frown on their face. Well, of course, their bike's broken down, but everybody willing to pitch in and help. If you need parts, if you need fuel, you need a push start on one of the old board track bikes. I mean, you got everybody is at your at your ready, so to speak, to help out if need be. It's an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it's like, it's a true family, but the camaraderie, it's undeniable. You feel it when you walk in, You can just feel it, even as a spectator. That's one of the things, the feedback that I get from a lot of people that are just like, it's so awesome, and they're all just such a big family. And I think the world of that, because that's really what we are. And finally, people see that for what it is. You know, I mean, yeah, a lot of us are a bunch of derelicts just doing what we love, but hell, finally we get acknowledged for the fact that we do what we love. That's the most important part.
And have a blast doing it too.
So much fun, yes. Okay, so next question is, what's the most fun you've ever had on a motorcycle?
The most fun I've ever had, I mean, I don't want to keep saying the same answer, you know, racing a circle track, but if we're taking racing out of it, I took a ride across country from Las Vegas, was trying to make it all the way to Nashville, ended up not making it, and it'll be part of the answer, I think, to what I think will be one of your other questions. But that cross country ride was a lot of fun. It was an experience. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. And experience is what we do it all for, because it's not just about, what do they say always, it's not the destination, it's the journey. And it's always quite, isn't it? It's quite a journey for sure. So then I guess that's my next question. It's the flip side. What's the worst experience you've ever had on a motorcycle?
The worst experience was that exact same ride. And the details, I bought a bike. I had it shipped to Las Vegas when I was working out there. My job assignment was over, so I decided I was going to ride it home. This was in December, and I left Las Vegas, and it was about 55 degrees, and I'm riding towards 40. I go across the Hoover Dam, you know, sightseeing, stop for a little bit. I was like, man, this is great. And the sun starts to set, and I had no idea the elevation change or anything like that I was in for. So I got to Kingman, Arizona, and it was dark. And if you remember, they may still have these things somewhere, but the old bank, you know, time temperature sign that flashes, you know, it shows you the time, then it shows you the temperature. I'll never forget, I pulled into this parking lot of the Holiday Inn, and right across the street is this bank with that flashing time temperature sign. It was 6:24 p.m. and it was 24 degrees.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And when I left Las Vegas, it was about 70 degrees that day. And I was miserable, and made it to maybe, I don't know, Albuquerque, New Mexico the next day, and was frozen, and made it to Oklahoma City on the third day. My dad, I'd called him while I was in New Mexico. I said, hey, because he had offered to come pick me up instead of having me ride his bike. I was like, oh no, this was, you know, 2003, and I saw Billy, you know, on the biker build off shows, and those guys ride cross country. I was like, well, if those guys can do it, I can do it too. And I wasn't thinking about the fact that I was going to be in sub freezing temperatures the whole time. But so anyway, he come to pick me up, and I didn't quite finish my ride across country, but it was an experience.
That's what it is too. Okay, so
details,
man,
details.
Exactly. We're gonna pause for 1 second on the questions, and I have two more that are leaving. They're going back to the Shack Up Inn. Go ahead, gentlemen. You're more than free to start up your motorcycles and ride away. Thank you for being courteous and kind. I appreciate that, Norm. Jason, thank you very much. Such a wonderful thing. I'm around a bunch of amazing people. Gotta love that.
Awesome. Motorcycle people are the best.
You can't beat it. There's nothing in the world like it. And I promise, if you ever want to just go someplace with the family, you got to do Mississippi, especially Clarksdale.
Yeah.
Where it'll be next year this time. So maybe right before the Tennessee Jam next year, you can just come down and hang out with us.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, everybody. Hang on 1 second. Some boys making some noise. Go figure. We got, let's see if we can show, Norman's back there getting on his bike, ready to go. And then we got Jason over here. If we can see him. There he is. He's getting ready to go. And you know, they've had just a little bit, not a lot to drink, but they've had a little bit to drink. So you know they're going to take their sweet time, and they're going to remember to warm up their motorcycles. They're not just going to push the button and go. Well, maybe one will. The other one isn't. I'll see you back at the shack. Okay. Be safe. probably get photo bombed at least once or twice more.
That was a pretty subdued exit.
Yeah, they're being courteous. They're also kind, and they're just really, really good. Plus, I told him my husband's really tall, and he's really mean when his love doesn't get what she wants. So they understand.
I love it.
It's awesome. Okay, so then for our next question, it's going to be, who is your childhood hero?
My childhood hero is my dad.
Love it.
Yeah, so he was a truck driver, and I would see him maybe for a little while on Saturday when he would come in, and then he would leave again on Sunday night. So all week I, would look forward to Dad coming home. We would work on the bikes. He was at that time he was into lifted 4-wheel drive trucks was his thing then. So, anytime I could spend time with my dad working on the bike, working on the truck, working on his big truck. He did all of his own, 18-wheeler mechanicking, or most all of it that he could do at home. Yeah, it was my dad.
Very cool. Well, and Dad, tell Dad we said hello.
I'll do it.
Still around.
Yeah, oh yeah, he is.
And tell him thanks for spawning you, because now we get to know you. We get to follow what you're doing, so that's too awesome. So my next question is, who's your motorcycle hero?
So when I was a kid, I raced motocross, like I said, and I had a Kawasaki KX80. And back then, everybody rode Hondas, were the number one bike, and then Yamaha and Suzuki were kind of, tied for the second most ridden bikes, and nobody really had Kawasaki's back then. And Jeff Ward was a professional motocross rider who he had the number one plate right around the time that I got into motocross. So he rode a Kawasaki, and I had a Kawasaki. So he was my childhood motorcycle hero. I was kind of rooting. He wasn't the underdog, but he was just, he's one of the few guys on the green bikes.
Nice. Yeah. When you're that young too, that matters. It definitely matters.
Yeah.
So then who would be your industry hero?
My industry hero would probably be the guy whose shirt I'm wearing. I was a huge fan, as most of us were back in the early 2000s, of the biker build-off shows and Motorcycle Mania. It's where I first got, my introduction to Billy Lane and the custom bike industry as a whole. But the first time that I saw any of Indian Larry's bikes, and how, at that time, the wide rear tires, the 250 rear tires, and the elaborate paint jobs, and the big inch Evo motors, everybody had a different style. Billy had his own style. Dave Perowitz had his style, but they were all, the big fat tires and the big raked out front ends. And all of Indian Larry's bikes were short wheelbase and tight. And, even though they were chrome and you could see a lot of the artistry, they were still really, really, mechanical. You saw the bones of the motorcycle, so to speak. And I was always fascinated by that stuff. And a lot of people were. So it was different. And, I appreciated that.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful to Bobby Seeger for continuing on.
Absolutely.
With what Larry's doing. And one of these days he's going to be on the show. If I can capture him long enough. He always says yes, he promotes all our stuff, but we love him. He's an incredible man too. So, and Indian Larry, he was the bomb. There's no doubt about that. He was the real deal. And yeah, we do skinny choppers too. We love skinny choppers. Tight and right. From Fairbanks, Alaska to Key West, Florida and back. That's what we want, and do it on a chopper. So that's too cool. Okay. So then my next question is, what is your most cherished motorcycle memory?
My most cherished motorcycle memory, I think, is the one that taught me what a Harley was. When my dad was, or when I was young, the motorcycle that my dad had was a Honda CB 750. And, I rode with him some on that. But one day I was out in the yard, and I heard the bikes before I saw them, and they're coming down the road, and I'm watching, I want to say maybe 8, 10, could have been 12, motorcycles that looked and sounded way different than Dad's Honda CB 750. And the next time I saw Dad, I was like, hey, there were these bikes that came down the road, and I was trying to describe to him what a Springer front end was. I didn't have the right words to say it, but I said they had these like double bars in the front. They had these really tall pieces of metal coming off the rear seat. I didn't know what I was looking at, but I knew that it was really different and it sounded really different. And it was the coolest shit that I'd ever seen. And he said, oh, you probably saw some Harley choppers with Springer front ends on them. I was like, yeah, is that what they were? Those things were fucking badass. I mean, I didn't say that to my dad then, but I thought to myself, I want to own one of those one day.
That is so awesome. Now, my honey, he is a Springer man. He rides a 93 Springer. He loves his Harley with his Springer. That's his. And people come to us from all over the country for him to rebuild their Springers because that's what he does. You know, he's just good at it. And I love to watch him do that because all those rockers and all the things and pieces in there, it's like, and they have to be precise and they work really well, you know, when they're really done well. That is cool. And yeah, I can understand that, you know, too, because you hear them first and it leaves an impression when you're young. It's like, whoa, what was that?
Yep.
That is very cool. So then what is your most cherished racing memory?
I won the Hot 61 board track class at Sons of Speed in March this past year. And I cherish that one a lot. But I gave this question some thought. I won Trog in 2019, the Big Twin class, which at the time was a pretty big deal. There were a lot of fast bikes there for several years. I don't know that quite as many guys are building bikes that way for that event anymore. But I cherish that memory because it took so much to get to that point. I set out to build a bike and we just kept having issue after issue after issue. We had a transmission lockup, gears and transmission locked up, grenaded the transmission. We hung an exhaust valve, had the bike. That one was my fault. I didn't have the the timer advanced. I left the timer retarded when we started it. Motor got hot. I hung an exhaust valve. Broken intake spring testing on the way there. We get to the beach and we had a clutch roller. We used the big fix conversion, the long rollers in the 4-speed clutch, and something happened there. The clutch locked up. So it's just issue after issue after issue. And I'm thinking, man, I put all this time and all this effort and all this planning into this race. And I've gotten so close, but now I'm not going to even compete. And then finally got the bike all dialed in and ended up winning the Big Twin class. And it was just it was an accomplishment for the long road that it took to get there.
That is so cool. And for a lot of people who don't know, Trog is the Race of Gentlemen's, and that's in New Jersey, correct?
Yep. They've done a couple of them now at out in California at an airstrip on pavement. But when we were doing it, it was the picture that you see there is at the Wildwood, New Jersey, the beach at Wildwood.
I love Wildwood, New Jersey. That's one of the best places I've ever been to rallies. It's very cool. Right on the boardwalk and all the stuff. It's got its own vibe. There is definitely something there for sure. Okay, so then here's a good question for you. If you could go back and tell your 25-year-old self something, what would that be?
I would tell my 25-year-old self to not waste any time. That life is short, because here we are, or here I am at 50 thinking, when I'm 25, I got all the time in the world. I can, I'll worry about that later. And then bam, 25 years has passed just like that. So I would say, hey, even though you're young, life is short. Make the most of it. Make the most of every day.
And I love that. I love you for saying that. Thank you so very much. I'll be 55 this year. I definitely understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So,
and 50, you look really good for 50. I wouldn't have guessed that. So.
Well, thank you. I try to watch what I eat and work out, do all that good stuff. Trying to beat Father Tom if I can.
Yeah, and racing too. You have to be in good physical shape, mental and physical shape, and you have to pay attention to all that stuff because it matters.
You mentioned earlier some of the racers, and you mentioned Chris Callan as one. But this year, Chris, myself, Mike Lang,
trying
to think maybe Rusty Carvalho, we all raced 3 classes
Mhm.
at Sons of Speed, and it was, I think, if it wasn't 90 degrees, it was really, really close.
Yes.
And to your point, I try to stay in shape and eat right and that sort of thing, so that, the handful of times a year that we race like that, I'm able to make it through all the classes. At the end of that day, I was absolutely beat. I was spent. And, I talked with Mike after the event, and I said, I don't, my hat's off to you, dude. I don't know how you freaking, race 3 classes. And he told me, he says, Nick, I'm 66 years old. I don't know any other way. I'm balls to the walls all the time. I was like,
Right.
well, I'm going to try to follow in your footsteps, but it's going to be tough, because that guy's an animal.
Yeah. And Chris is my brother from another mother. I love him. We're family. And, I tell him all the time, and the key out there, like, especially in the Florida heat, is to stay hydrated. The electrolytes and stuff like that. That's it. But I guess at some point when you're out there, it's just, that's what it is. You take care of yourself so you can get out there and just go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
when it's like-minded, you're all like-minded like that. And I love to see that too. I watch you guys all get all worked up and you're just ready to go, and it's high fives, and then you get out there and you're competing, but it's still hugs and high fives at the end. So
it is.
I love that. It is so cool. Okay. So if money didn't matter and you could take a road trip on your motorcycle anywhere, where would you go and with who?
So I was staged at Sons of Speed on the 45s for the, I'll call it the picture parade. They line us all up and they walk past with cameras. But anyway, I was beside Danger Dan, and
Awesome.
I had followed his blog and saw where he rode, all through South America on the bike.
Mm-hmm.
And I was asking him some questions about that. And he was telling me this one particular story where a guy's bike broke down on the road that they were on, and, so on and so forth. And he stopped to help him. And at some point during the conversation, I said, well, so how did you communicate with the guy? You're in South America. Did you speak his language? And he looks at me, he says, of course I spoke his language. I speak motorcycle. And I was just like, oh my God, dude, what a fucking answer,
Yes.
And the more I talked to him, I was like, I would love to spend some time, because apparently the guy rides all over the world.
Everywhere. Yeah.
I would take a trip with, I think he was over in Asia at one point. I would love to go with him in some of these places that he's been, just to see the world from a motorcycle.
Did I lose you?
I still see your picture, but you're not moving. I can hear you. Your picture's
Did we lose him? Did he freeze? Oh, there you go.
No,
I see you.
you froze,
Okay.
baby, but you're good.
I thought I
Keep
lost
on
you
going.
there for a moment. Everyone. Okay. Yeah, every once in a while we'll have a glitch. It's a hiccup. That's how it goes.
You're back.
We're the Hot Mess Express. Okay, good. All right. I like being back. So, could you tell us something about yourself that?
I don't know what question she was fixing to ask on. She was going to ask me to tell me.
She was looking for telling us something that everybody in the world would not know about you. Something.
I kind of gave that one away in the beginning by telling you what I did for a living. So many people from work never recognized me when I got on a t-shirt and blue jeans. They see me in shirt and tie every day, and vice versa. Some of my motorcycle buds will show up for surprise visitors or lunch, and I'm like, oh, we didn't know you wore a shirt and tie to work every day.
A suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy
exactly.
shit.
You look a lot different, dude. So yeah,
they start grabbing your beard. Is that thing on there really? Or
yeah,
what?
right. Is that real? Is that
hey,
is
it
that
looks
stage
like I'm
prop?
gonna get her back. Hold on, looks like I'm gonna get her back.
Okay.
Let's just see what we can do here. You only get so long in Mississippi.
Hey, love. Hey, Nick.
There she is.
Yeah. It was a Mississippi wind, I think, took out the little signal there. It's okay.
See what I was saying? It's a Mississippi thing.
So, yeah, I don't know if I missed your answer, but, yeah, I asked you to tell us something that others might not know, but you did, right? You told us that you sell cars for a living.
Yeah, and I'm incognito when I'm at work for the people who've never seen me in a shirt and tie. Sometimes they don't recognize me, and then vice versa. The people at work, if I show up on my day off in a t-shirt and a pair of boots, they're like, "Oh, you look so much different." I'm like, "Nah, I look like me."
Who are you? Why are you here? Right?
Yeah.
That is funny. So, lastly, if you could tell us your 5 things that you're grateful for, that you have that are in your life, or 5 good things, because we're home of the 5 good things.
So, some of this is going to be kind of simple. My good thing in the morning is my coffee. I don't function until I get my coffee, and my wife would tell you that I drink way too much coffee. But considering some of the other stuff that I used to use to, get excited, let's say, coffee's really, really mild at this point. So, but I'm thankful for my health. As I said, I try to stay in shape, and that helps me with my day-to-day activities. But on the important side of things is my family. I mean, more and more all the time, I appreciate what the I guess maybe the example. I didn't realize for a long time the type of the type of lifestyle that I led was such an example for my kids, both good and bad. And in recent years, with taking care of myself and trying to eat right and trying to do those things, it's permeated to. I've got a daughter. My oldest child is my daughter, but all 3 kids are taking care of themselves better, and just knowing that we're all going to be around for a long, long time to hopefully enjoy not just motorcycles but life together.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I don't know, this I think it'd be I'd have to say the whole motorcycle thing. There's lots of people out there that are into their hobbies or their lifestyles or what have you. But I would even say that the racing and the old motorcycles as a smaller segment of motorcycles in general, it just, I mean, it scratches so many itches for me, is, like we talked in the beginning, racing the old bikes and riding the old bikes. It's what makes me tick at this point.
Love it. One more.
Sure.
Do you got one more for me?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, one more for the 5. Oh,
yep.
Wow.
That was 4. I can count today.
5 ain't 4, man.
I can't count today. Let's see. What would my 5th one be? I can't remember what I've named now.
You had family, you had health, you had motorcycles, and you had.
So.
Non-ethanol gas.
There you go. Thank you. Non-ethanol race gas.
I love it. That's awesome.
Smells like perfume.
It does.
Okay, I'm going to let him help you on this one today, but him and I are going to have a talk about the producer, talent kind of conversation there.
The producer interjection.
I love it. That's funny. I don't mind at all. He can interject anytime he wants. I can't wait for the 2 of you to get to hang out. You guys are going to be fast friends for a long time.
I already
feel that is too cool. Okay, well, all I can say is thank you so much for being here on the show. I hope that you enjoyed yourself as much as we enjoyed having you, and everyone watching is going to enjoy this interview because you are a spectacular guest. And then we're going to absolutely be inspired as all hell on Saturday, watching you go round and round and giving it your all with all the people there. And we will be there. We won't be there physically, but we will be there watching. I'll be watching everybody that's sending me videos and all that stuff. And then we'll get a chance to see you in Daytona, hopefully.
100%. 100%.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And please tell your wife I said I'm glad she enjoyed her first trip. I'm sure she will. And the kids, thanks for sharing the time. And again, I can't thank you enough for being here. And everybody watching, Nick Hunter, and it is Tweakers Racing. And you watch out for him and his boys. They'll be out there. Make sure you give them a shout when you see them on the track. Go over and say hello. Support the team when you can, buy their merchandise. Anything that you can do to help out, do it. Hey, if you can buy a gas card and drop it off at the track and say, here, fuel's on us today, that's the way to go. We want to see that participation, and make sure you go and you watch because it's incredible. Nick, I thank you so much, and I hope that you'll come back again and be on the show with us.
Pleasure to be here, Athena. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful week, and then do it. Rock it. I can't wait. Send me a text message and let me know how you did.
I promise you, it's coming.
Very good. All right. I will see you on the flip side, sir.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody. How awesomely cool is that? I am the luckiest girl. I'm the luckiest girl in the world. I know that every day. I have so many fantastic things in my life. My wonderful husband, my wonderful friends, all the people that come into my world. So, again, I'm truly blessed. All right. So, my afterthought tonight, we're going to get right to that. Home of the Blues. Okay, Clarksdale, Mississippi. You have to experience it. There's nothing else in the world like it. This town is coming back. It went from a ghost town to the heartbeat is pumping again. So please come when you're on your road trip. Support. Bring this little music town back. You know what I mean? We have such great musicians here, and I'm enamored by all of the things that I've seen and the eclectic vibe and just how wonderful it is. I'm standing out in front of the Paramount Theater. I'm looking at the sign, and if I turn around, let's see if I can do that. Probably the lights are going to go. You can't really see it too well. It's the Paramount Theater, and that was the old theater here back in the day. You know, it's important to participate in your community and put back what you take from it. So if everybody did that, small towns like this would thrive instead of constantly trying to survive. So when you roll through on your motorcycle and you're on a road trip, stop in the small towns, stop at the mom and pop stores and the restaurants, and get a little bit of flavor of what each and every stop has to offer. Meet the people. You'll enjoy it so much. They'll enjoy you so much. And then that's what makes life go round. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, everybody, remember, when things get tough or you get the blues, just tell yourself 5 good things. If your friends are not happy or not doing well, ask them to tell you their 5 good things. It does change your perspective, and it matters, and it's important. And remember, smile big with your heart. Spread your sunshine, even on a rainy day, right? That's what we always say. Be kind to yourself and others. It matters. I appreciate you all being here. Sorry about the oops last week. And we're back on track. We'll be in the new shop this week and have a studio set up there. And we're going to do more of these live events. I think it's going to work out well. So I appreciate you all again. Remember, follow on the Facebook and the YouTube channel, and that's on the screen there. Please send us your 5 good things, questions for Ask Athena, anything that you want to promote, community, organizations, charities, things good in the community that are going on. We'll put it up on the show. And Athena After Dark is live. It's up there. So it's athenaafterdark.com. Check it out. We're tweaking some more of the, hey, there's that word, Tweakers Racing. Yay, support Tweakers Racing. We're going to have some more content in there, and it'll be updated regularly once I get back to the studio. Thank you so much. I love you all very much. Have a great week, and chopper on. I absolutely love you all. Thanks, Don, for being such a wonderful producer. I love you. All right, everybody. I'll see you next week, Monday, 10 p.m. for another great guest. You're not going to believe it. And congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Barry Wardlaw. It's been an incredible day. All right, you guys.